Oh, this is a fun one. Okay, so if I had to pick, I'd say Erika Jayne, because let's be real, her recall is insane. The woman remembers everything, like some kind of walking encyclopedia of reality TV drama. I'm pretty sure if you asked her about the tax laws in 1997, she could rattle off specifics, no problem. But hey, I also wouldn't rule out Kathy Hilton. There's a possibility she's the ultimate mastermind playing the dumb blonde act just to entertain us while secretly pulling the strings. It takes some serious social intelligence to pull off that level of charming obliviousness, right? Now, Vanderpump is an interesting one. Sure, she says her mom was in Mensa, which automatically gives her a little edge in the IQ department. But honestly, I don't know if I'd call her intelligent in the traditional sense. She's more of a genius when it comes to bending the rules of morality. That's how she built her empire, being totally fine with manipulating people without a second thought. And honestly, I'd argue that's a brand of intelligence that's just as valuable. Oh, and the way she worked the show, totally next level. She had the producers eating out of her hand for seasons. Like, who else could do that? No one's been able to repeat that kind of insider producer magic. As for the current crop of housewives, I'm leaning toward Boz. She's got that quiet confidence that says, I don't need anyone's approval. She could be the smartest of the bunch, but we don't know enough yet to decide if she's a true leader or just a career climber. Either way, she definitely doesn't seem to be trying too hard to prove anything. And then there's Crystal. She might be book smart, but her emotional intelligence. Yeah, that's a work in progress. It's like she's got the IQ, but the EQ playing hide and seek. All in all, I'm sticking with Erika Jayne. She's got the brains, the recall, and the sass to match. Erika's humble apartment. Let's just take a moment to acknowledge how humble it truly is. Humble like a 5-star hotel pretending to be a budget motel. Sure, it's better than 95% of the planet's living spaces, even before the makeover. But don't worry, she's still got her little all-me act down, right? The whole "it's so small" and "it's a start" narrative is so exhausting. There's absolutely nothing to complain about here. Seriously, Erika, you've made out like a bandit. No need to pretend you're some underdog. Given that your entire lifestyle was funded by fraud, it's honestly amazing that you even have a place at all. I mean, come on, if you weren't getting money from Tom's stolen fortune, there's no way you'd be living here, let alone gracing Bravo screens. So can we please stop hearing about your poverty now? Edit, and for the love of all things holy, can we stop obsessing over whether it's an apartment or a house? It doesn't change the point. It's a house, but it's $1 million house, so yeah, let's keep the humble narrative in check, please. Burl, come on. Miss Erika fled that mansion in the dead of night, clutching teacups and armchairs like she was off to fight a war. The poor lamb. She needs our sympathy, please. Everyone, think of Erika. Let's not forget that just months ago, she was forced to drive around in a leased Range Rover and, oh, the horror, skip glam once a week. Let's all shed a tear for her. I mean, forget the orphans and widows. Someone think of Erika. And remember, after Tom heroically confronted a burglar, Erika's right to complain about her so-called humble home is now set in stone. Who cares if widows and orphans were left destitute by the stolen millions? At least Erika has her nice little place. But don't worry, we'll never forget. The stench of that fraud lingers, and it's a scent Erika wears proudly. And still, after all this time, she hasn't shown a shred of empathy for anyone but herself. Bravo, do us all a favor and please show her the door already. We've seen enough of her decor, but sadly, not enough decorum. And let's not forget, it's not just an apartment. It's a 1-story, $1 million home in Hancock Park, one of LA's most prestigious neighborhoods. Sure, it's technically not an apartment, but who cares about details when the whole woe is me act is driving me mad? She's just a phony, entitled grifter, and everything about her reeks of BS. Can we stop with the poverty shtick now? Her house might be boring, but it's certainly not poor. Let's be real. Erica should be thanking her lucky stars that the fraud was so well documented by her husband's firm that it basically saved her from prison or a senior center. She's lucky she's not locked up with Tom for life. So yeah, let's cut the pity party and just enjoy the show, or at least the decor if nothing else. Alright, I've finally arrived at Puppygate. I roll. First of all, can we just talk about how obnoxious it is when people add gate to every scandal? Pantygate, Puppygate, Nipplegate, seriously, enough with that already. Okay, ran over. Let me just say, I absolutely love Denise Richards. Always have. Her husband, a total sweetheart, and I'm really excited to binge watch her new show. As for LVP, honestly, I have no idea whether she leaked anything, but what I do know is that Teddy, I can't stand her. Even if it turns out Teddy was 100% right and LVP was totally in the wrong, I'm still not about to like her. Although, I do wish her well, sort of. Also, quick tip. If someone says, "I've never told a lie," they're probably lying more than anyone else. Everyone lies, people, everyone. Now, I'm curious how I'll feel about the show after Lisa's gone. Kyle, that woman loves stirring the pot, and it's honestly exhausting. But here's my biggest issue. Why are we more concerned about a leaked story than the actual dog involved? Like, sure, a story leaked, big shocker, we're on a reality show, but can we focus on the real issue here? The dog? Is it okay? Is it safe? As for the whole everyone lies thing, maybe not everyone, but Rinna? Oh, she definitely leaked that story. Notice how the leaks magically stopped when she was fired. Teddy was obviously gunning for Dorit and admitted it, so I'm not buying the innocent act. The dog? It was fine. LVP had it right from the start of the episode. The kill shelter called them, and they went to get it. I'm assuming it found a lovely new home. But honestly, I've never understood why the whole dog drama got so blown out of proportion. LVP was upset, her staff was upset, but by the time the season started, she and Dorit were totally fine. They had one dinner, Dorit half-heartedly apologized, and it was pretty much over. But of course, the other women had to make a huge deal out of it. And let's be real. Leaking stories just makes everything way bigger than it needs to be. Sure, you agree to be filmed on a reality show, but no one signed up for their personal stories to be blasted everywhere. Teddy's attempt to weaponize her illness and throw people under the bus. Absolutely tacky and gross. One would think that going through something as serious as cancer might actually make her a better, more empathetic person. But clearly, I set my expectations way too high. Now I'm seeing clips from her podcast, where she's calling out every housewife who hasn't reached out to her about her cancer diagnosis. First, she mentions Dorit hasn't contacted her, which is just beyond tacky. If you're publicly calling people out for not reaching out, especially without anyone even asking you about it, it just looks desperate and petty. How about just thanking the people who did reach out and leaving it at that? Seems simple enough. Then, she mentioned Sutton actually reached out and recommended doctors to her. But of course, after saying that, she makes it clear she's still going to talk trash about Sutton. That's just childish and gross. You can't even thank someone for their support without adding a bitter jab. And then there's Garcelle, who supposedly hasn't reached out to her. Why should Garcelle reach out? You two were never friends to begin with, and based on Teddy's reaction to Sutton's support, Garcelle was probably better off not getting involved. It's like, no matter what you do for Teddy, she will always find a way to let you down and make you regret it. This whole thing just proves who Teddy really is. You can have sympathy for what she's going through, but that doesn't mean you have to ignore her ongoing nastiness. It's possible to feel for someone without pretending they're a saint. Cancer can mess with your brain chemistry, and that might explain some of the bizarre behavior, but we really don't know for sure. Maybe Teddy's always been like this, hard to say. But it's not an excuse. And as much as I'm not the biggest fan of Dorrit, calling her out like this just seems mean-spirited and low. If the roles were reversed, I seriously doubt Teddy would have reached out to Dorrit. And let's not forget, Teddy's been shady long before this illness. I used to work for hospice, and let me tell you, being gravely ill doesn't necessarily turn someone into a better person. You can still be a jerk while dying, and that's the vibe Teddy's giving off. As for Garcelle, why would she reach out? Teddy and her Mean Girl squad spent seasons bullying Garcelle's friend Denise. Garcelle was right to be wary of Teddy. The only thing Teddy should be thankful for is that she got fired from the show, and honestly, she got off easy. Yes, cancer is tragic, but it doesn't mean Teddy is immune from being held accountable for her past actions. Sure, she's dealing with something awful, but that doesn't erase the fact that she's always been kind of a disgusting person. And to everyone who tried to warn us, we got called cold or mean, like we somehow wanted her to be ill. We don't want her to suffer, but we're not going to pretend she's a good person just because she's going through something hard. Let's not forget the whole pay me to starve yourself business with her 500-calorie diet nonsense, and the way she preyed on women with eating disorders. Not to mention the whole thing with her husband stealing from the elderly. I'm sorry she has cancer, but that doesn't mean she's above criticism for all the other things she's done. She doesn't get a free pass just because she's sick now. Finally, a bit of perspective. I work in breast cancer research, and my mom has metastatic melanoma. Thankfully, it hasn't spread to her brain. And while cancer can sometimes lead to a shift in values, that only happens when a person is capable of self-reflection. Teddy seems to be riding a high of self-perceived moral superiority now and thinks the world owes her condolences. She's lucky to have the support she does, and it's a shame she can't see how fortunate she is. There are single mothers out there struggling to afford care while juggling their families, and Teddy would crumble in their shoes. It's possible to have empathy and still see someone for who they truly are. Teddy's a mess. A brutally honest rundown of the RHOBH women this season so far. Kyle, oh Kyle. The quintessential mean girl who's been desperately clawing her way to the same Hollywood spotlight her sisters and niece, Paris, have enjoyed. She's been super open about the train wreck that is her alcoholic sister and their dysfunctional family dynamics. But has anyone heard about her husband's endless stream of infidelities and his F***CK boy behavior? Yeah, didn't think so. She'd love to air out the trauma from her childhood and her toxic relationship with Kathy, but I'm guessing she's too terrified to do so. Kathy's got that power over her, and Kyle knows it. Erica, okay, Erica has made some strides in therapy and personal growth, I'll give her that. But let's not forget the huge betrayal she orchestrated, letting her good friend, designer Marco, take the fall for the fraud her husband was running. She had to have known what was going on, and yet there she was, letting him get dragged to jail. And where's the apology? Where's the accountability? Not a peep. It's vile, and I will never forget it. Side eye, always. Sutton, the walking contradiction. Sutton's been a victim of narcissistic abuse from her mother and ex-husband, but now she's just adding a bit of narcissistic flair to her own repertoire. She craves the approval of the popular, rich, and powerful women like Kathy and Kyle, because let's face it, Kyle's the queen bee of RHOBH, right? Lately, Sutton's been throwing shade at Dorrit and Kyle's newfound BFF status, jealous of that closeness. She's a bit of a social climber, but honestly, aren't they all? She can dish it out, but when the tables turn, she plays the victim card faster than you can say housewife drama, Dorrit. Keeping up with the Joneses, but without the bank account to back it up. Dorrit's like a professional grifter, always borrowing money from her glam team and stylists and acting like she's above it all. I'll admit she had her funny moments this season, but the moment Sutton apologized half-heartedly, but still, Dorrit wouldn't let it go. It was exhausting. We all know Sutton's apology wasn't genuine. It was a desperate attempt to look good in front of Kathy, Kyle, and Jennifer. But Dorrit, seriously, just accept the apology and move on. You two were never going to be friends anyway. I actually think these two loathe each other because they have way too much in common. It's hilarious. Kathy, oh Kathy, a certified monster. I mean, we've known this for years, but it's truly next-level toxic. Every now and then she's funny, but let's not forget how she treated her own daughter. The House of Hilton book spilled the tea on Big Kathy's horrific parenting, and guess what? Little Kathy followed suit. She's just as much of a tyrant to her daughter. She's constantly looking down on everyone around her, including Jennifer Tilly, who's just as rich, if not richer, than she is. The audacity. Garcelle keeps her cards close to her chest and barely shares anything about her life beyond her boys. She's fiercely loyal to Sutton, no matter how wrong Sutton is. It's like Garcelle's got a soft spot for her, or maybe it's just a calculated move to stay in the game. Sutton's generous, gifts, jets, trips, whatever, but she's also the one person Garcelle knows will stick by her. So there's that. Boz and Jennifer. Okay, honestly, they're the least insufferable of the bunch. Boz gets relationships and understands accountability in ways these women can only dream of. But then there's her man, who's definitely a red flag. You can be the wisest person on the planet in other people's drama, but when it comes to your own life, blind spots galore. Jennifer's hilarious though. She's got the best one-liners and knows how to lighten up the scene. Not fake oblivious like Kathy, just genuinely entertaining. And honestly, that line, this week on Crazy Yacht from Hell, a total gem, pure gold. The bottom line, I've enjoyed all of these women at some point, but the longer they stay on this show, the more their true selves shine through. It's like watching a slow-motion car crash. You just can't look away. But hey, that's the beauty of RHOBH, isn't it? What do you all think? Do these women even realize they're on a reality show? I genuinely can't wrap my head around why they're so outraged every time someone asks them to discuss their personal lives. Seriously, 2/3 of this episode were just endless complaints because Erica got asked about the whole global news story where her famous lawyer husband and his wife scammed people out of millions. Kyle and Mauricio are divorcing after 20 years, despite their entire brand being built on their own reality TV show. And then Kyle has the audacity to advertise a lesbian love affair, while claiming she's not having one. And then there's the whole confusion with Kyle accusing Sutton of starting it on the boat, when I swear Erica was the one who dredged up drama from 4 years ago. I'm honestly lost. Like, am I missing something here? I don't mind a little fourth wall break, but RHOBH is borderline obsessed with it. All they ever do is argue about whether they should talk about real issues on TV, not actually discuss the issues themselves. Did Erica do it or not? Is Kyle bisexual? Is PK/Dorrit split connected to financial problems? It's like they're avoiding the drama by obsessing over whether or not they should air the dirty laundry in front of cameras. Am I the only one noticing this? And don't even get me started on how they gang up on Sutton to distract from their own messes. I totally agree. Erica still hasn't addressed her legal and financial issues, other than repeating her tired line, "How could I know? I only care about me, and of course, I'm never getting away from widows and orphans." Meanwhile, she's always the one begging the other women to buy her things when they go shopping. And let's not forget, she's still married to the guy who magically developed dementia after the case went public. How convenient. Erica is just downright selfish and petty. She constantly hits Sutton, who's already been slammed by Dorrit, while Erica just sneers and giggles in the background. Erica's literally doing exactly what she accused Sutton of, hitting someone when they're already down, and she genuinely believes she did nothing wrong. She honestly thinks she's just as much a victim as Tom's actual victims. This episode made my blood boil. Sorry, but if my best friend had those kinds of articles coming out, I'd be questioning them publicly. I wouldn't care. They all take themselves way too seriously. All of them. Look, not everything has to be for public consumption, and I get that some stuff needs to be handled privately. But like, you're on a reality show. You chose to be on this show. No one's forcing them. They could go find other jobs if they wanted to. But Erica, bless her heart, needs the money and isn't qualified to do much else. So she's leaning into this whole offended act to make it a storyline. But the real issue this season, and for the past few seasons, is that the cast mostly seems unwilling to buy into the whole reality show thing. Honestly, Sutton might be a little mean or oblivious at times, but at least she's buying into the premise. She doesn't self-edit, which is why she says some wild stuff. But she's willing to say the things no one else has the guts to, even if it makes her look ridiculous. Is she always likable? No, but she's the only one actually trying to make good TV right now.